Imagine you took yourself and split yourself into, not the physical split where it's going to be painful, but just the mindset split. I want you to split your mind into two versions of you. You on this side, we have the current you, who you are today. And over on this side, we have the best version of you, the highest version of yourself. Over here is the current you. Over here is the best version of you. With these two entities in play, where the current version of you does what you do now, wake up when you wake up, eat the things you eat, move the way you move, say the things you say, and think the way you think. And over here, we have the best version of yourself, doing things at the right time, waking up at the right time, doing the right activities throughout the day, learning the right things and growing exponentially. Two versions of you. I want you to ask yourself a question. How big is that gap? I want you to ask yourself a question. What is that version of yourself? What is that version thinking about you right now? How big is that gap? What is that version thinking about you? How does this version, how does your current version see your highest self? Today, we are going to ask a very, very deep question, which is, how conscious are you of the gap between your current self and your highest self? How conscious are you of the gap? How aware are you of how far you need to go between where you are now and where you want to be? My name is Pierre Yamfam. This is Get Out of Your Way. And let's figure this one out together. But first, a little bit of accountability as always. Did I wake up on time yesterday? No. Did I wake up on time today? Sorry. My head is all over the bloody place. Did I wake up today on time at 4:30 a.m.? And what is today's success principle? I will catch you in part one, accountability. We're looking good. We are looking good in them wake ups, people. Accountability is looking very strong. Tick, 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 tick is what I'm seeing in my performance tracker. Those 4:30 a.m. wake ups are looking good. So, day 19. Day 19, that sounds freaking incredible. Day 19. Anyway, sorry, I was just basking in the journey so far. But day 19, success principle 19. Now, before we get into success principle 19, I just want to say, if you saw my video yesterday, if you took a moment to review the pain, the freaking pain I was in yesterday at 2:30 a.m. in the morning, which is actually today's morning, recording the freaking video and showing up with no script, nothing planned. I was so late. My schedule was so freaking bad. My timing was so off. I didn't know what was going to happen in that video. But if you watch that video, just know that today I am recovering. My schedule is back on track, and we're looking good. Okay, we're looking good. So I just want to put that out there. Okay, I'm okay. People be asking, Pierre, I'm okay. I'm good. I still got a little bit of a cough. In fact, I'm going to pause you and get more of a drink. So I've got a drink throughout this video. Be right back. Incredible. Got a little top up of water. So, where were we? Yes, just want to run that by you guys. I am okay. I am alive. I slept for an hour and got up, kept going, and slept a little bit more throughout the day. So, I'm okay. Right. Now, for today's video, success principle 19, day 19. Let's get into it. So, for today, I want to spend just a few minutes on a game-changing mindset that if you are able to implement, if you're able to really get your head around this concept, you will start YouTube channels, you will quit your job. In fact, disclaimer, I have to put a disclaimer in here. If you apply the success principle I'm about to drop today, please be ready to make changes in your life that you may not have thought you'd be making today or tomorrow or this week. That's how powerful this success principle is. Okay, for day 19. And I'm giving you guys a golden success principle today because yesterday was an absolute flop. So that's why I'm going to go above and beyond for you guys today with the success principle and for the breakdown as well. So success principle 19 is people are not thinking about you half as much as you think. People are not thinking about you half as much as you think. Let me ask you a question. Really and truly, really, when you really deep the situation at hand, how many times today were you actively thinking about someone else, a colleague, a friend, a family member? How often were you consciously thinking about whoever that person is compared to how much you were thinking about your own problems, your own issues, your own challenges, your own trials and tribulations, your own things you need to get done, the bills you need to pay, the food you need to cook tonight for dinner, the project you need to hand in for your manager, the client you're trying to close, the person you need to recruit. How much were you thinking in comparison? How much were you thinking about your own woes? It's all doom and gloom. Bloody, I don't mean it like that, but you know what I mean? How much were you thinking about your own life, your visions, your aspirations? Bring some positivity. Pierre, bring the energy, bring the positivity to this video because people are going to be dropping off if you don't. Now, chicken. So how much were you thinking about those things as well, like visions, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, your daydreaming, the car that you want, the house that you want? How much were you thinking about all of that compared to thinking about what someone did to you the other day or a colleague that annoyed you or whatever, thinking about someone else? What is the comparison? I'll tell you what the comparison is because this is the average for most people. This is the average. 98% of your time, you are thinking about your damn self. Yes, you was. Don't shake your head. No, you was. You know, you and I both know the score. 98% of the time, really, really think about this. You were in your own world thinking about you. 2%, 2 to 5% of the time, you were thinking actually, don't mean subconsciously, that little gripe, that little vendetta you have. I don't mean subconsciously. I mean consciously. 2 to 5% of the time, you were thinking about someone else, weren't you? Yes, Pierre, I was. Damn right you was. Because that's the average. And I know people deviate across that spectrum, but that's the average. So if 2 to 5% of your time you were thinking about someone else, and 98% of the time, 98% of the time, you were thinking about yourself, let me ask you another question. How many other people on earth are doing exactly what you're doing? The answer is practically everyone. Because everyone has their own challenges, everyone has their own journey, everyone is on their own journey, and they are not thinking about you. They're really not. I know it touches the ego a little bit and you want that attention, but they're not thinking about you. They're not. They call you, say, I love you. You know, my mum calls me, I love you. But throughout the day, they're thinking about what the frick they got to do. They're trying to be successful. They're trying to get promoted. They're trying to deal with some crap at work, whatever. They're doing their own freaking thing. So you need to do your thing. You need to really think. You're worried about what other people are thinking about you. That's why you haven't left your job. That's why you haven't left that partner that abuses you. That's why you've not left that that I don't know, whatever the freaking whatever you haven't moved house. That's why you haven't gone on holiday. That's why you haven't moved country to live somewhere else, which is where you really want to live this whole time, because you're worried about what other people will think of you. News freaking flash. We're gonna get serious today. News freaking flash. They aren't thinking about you. And when you make your move, yes, they'll think about you for 10 seconds. But I promise you, the next freaking day, they are going back to their lives. It's like LinkedIn. Think about LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, people inbound, outbound messaging me, whatever, and I'm like, I see someone, someone I used to work with, like whatever, someone on LinkedIn posts, I'm so glad I got promoted, whatever, whatever. For a split second, I'm giving them the thumbs up, the clap, clap hands, the cheer, cheer, and the smiley face. I'm writing a little message and I'm buzzed for them. In my world, I've given them 9 seconds of my life. After that, I swear to God, there's practically no chance on earth I'm thinking about that person on LinkedIn ever again until, it's my friend. They may be a friend that I think about, every now and then, and I message them, how are you doing, whatever. But in general, I'm going back to my own life. So you need to think the decisions you are not making in your life, the journeys you are not taking, the things you are not doing, the goals you are not achieving, the challenges you're not overcoming, the steps you are not taking. You need to think to yourself, if you are not moving in those directions because you are worried about what other people think, this goes for anything. This goes for your sexuality. This goes for the job you're in that you want to leave, the relationship you're in you want to leave. If you are worried about taking action because you're worried about what genuinely think now, you're worried about what other people are thinking of you, that is a fool's freaking game. It's a fool's game because mathematics, science, and research shows that they are actually not thinking about you. Get that into your head. They are actually not thinking about you. And when you make the move, like that guy on LinkedIn that got a promotion, yes, they'll think about you for a few seconds, maybe a couple days. But once the novelty, because that's all it is, it's freaking novelty. Once the novelty sets, they're going back to their own mundane life, and you need to go on with yours. You're here to live your life. Believe it or not. You're not here to live your life for anyone else. And these anyone else people aren't even thinking about you like that. You're not that important to them. I had to slide that one in real quick. You're not that important to them. But to yourself, you are the center of your universe. Think about that. You are at the center of your universe. And you just need to worry about what it is that you want to do and where it is that you want to go and keep it freaking moving. No one's thinking about you like that. Success principle 19, day 19. People are not thinking about you half as much as you think. Think about what you want to do. Take action. Don't give a damn about other people's opinions, freaking perspectives. You do what you want to do. By the way, as long as you're not harming anyone else, don't go around harming people. We're not about that vibe on this channel or anywhere on earth. As long as you are respecting other people's boundaries, morals, and their space, and you're not harming anyone, and you're trying to better your life, do what it is that you want to do for you and your life. Full stop. Successful people operate in that vibration. That's how I operate. That's how I'd love for you to operate. And let's see the results that you get. I will catch you in part 3, the breakdown. Earlier on, we ran a little experiment. We had a little imagination to the nation session. I don't know why I just did that or said that. I don't know what that means. But we done an imagination thing. And what we done is we split you in half. Not the physical kind. You didn't get hurt, but we split you in half. We put one side of you over here, which is the current you, and we put the other side of you over here, which is the best version of you. And we asked a deep question. We went there and we said, are you conscious? How conscious are you of the gap between where you are now and where you could be? How aware are you of that distance, that gap? Because your best version of yourself is currently whooping your ass. You're getting the beat down. You are getting the beat down right now by the highest version of yourself. But that's okay, because they got that, you know what I mean? They've leveled up, they've got to the way they want to get to. Everyone's on their own journey. That higher version of yourself is doing the madness. And we're actually buzzed because we have an example, which you're going to see in a second. We have an example of what to do to get there as well. So we're happy for them. But right now you're getting your ass kicked. So we need to work on that current situation that we're in. Okay. So that was the question that we asked earlier. And we ran that imagination experiment. Now, why is this question, how conscious are you of the gap between your current self and the highest version, the best version of yourself. Why are we even unpacking that today in the breakdown? The reason why we're unpacking that today is because it is such a powerful. Now I'm gonna get a little bit serious. Okay, I've been joking around a little bit in this video. I'm gonna get a little bit serious. It is such a powerful tool of change. And we're gonna break down how to use that gap, how to first recognize the gap. Then we're gonna work out how to use that gap as a tool to propel, accelerate, and move in an exponential curved direction to your highest version of yourself and to the goals that you're trying to achieve. That's what we're going to do today. It is such a powerful tool. Now, most people don't consciously think about this question that we're proposing today. In fact, a lot of the questions that I propose in the breakdown, that's the whole point of the breakdown. It's to bring forth these complex questions so people are actually asking them to themselves and starting to have the conversation narrative with themselves. So most people, number one, most people are not even conscious of this question. Oh, if my highest version of myself was sitting in front of me right now, what would be the gap between me and that person? That's a high level question that elite people ask. Successful people ask that question all the time. They're constantly thinking about this gap. You should be too, right? And so the highest version of themselves who is consistently, the highest version of yourself that is consistently doing the right things at the right times, in between you and that person, there is this invisible gap, a gap that you can't see, but there is a gap between you guys. And that gap is the difference between where you want to be, your goals that you're trying to achieve, and where you are now. There is a gap, as an invisible gap. You can't see it. And that's one of the biggest issues. Because you can't see the gap, you're not doing anything about the gap. You don't even know that there's a gap or that this sort of question maybe existed in the first place. Okay? So the first issue is that people are not conscious of this tool, this methodology, this key, powerful question. People are not conscious. Let me give you an example of what I mean by this gap. Let me get do I have a calculator? I'm gonna have to use my other device for a calculator. I just want to show you guys something. Okay, so I've got my calculator out because I can't do this maths off the top of my head. It's too difficult. But let's run a calculator on this. In fact, let me just bring my phone up so you guys can see this. I want you guys to see this. Although the numbers will probably be backwards, I want you guys to see this. Okay, so let's say for example, you wake up at 8 a.m. every day. You wake up at 8 a.m. every day. That's the current version of yourself. People, you wake up at, no, let me go into that. You wake up at 8 a.m., that's fine. All right, that's where we are. And the highest version of yourself wakes up at 5 a.m. Okay? Every day, the highest version of yourself has agreed that 5 a.m. is the best time to wake up for everything you're trying to achieve, whilst you're waking up at 8 a.m. That's 3 hours a day. How many hours is that in a week? 3 times 7, of course, is 21. Okay? So just from the outset, just on a daily basis, looking at the week, your highest version of yourself has had almost a full day, a full 24-hour day on top of you already. The highest version of yourself, you're rocking 7 days a week, whilst the highest version of yourself is rocking 8 days a week. 8 days a week. They're getting a whole extra day of productivity compared to you. Now we're going to start understanding the gap that I'm talking about, the invisible gap. Now, let's multiply that over a month. I think it's like 85 or 84 or something. So times 4. Good. Now, yeah. Now, the highest version of yourself is getting 84 hours a month ahead of you. Let's just quickly work out what that is. What that is over the month in days. So 3.5 to almost 4 days, the highest version of yourself is getting the extra time to be productive. Now, let's take those 84 hours in a month, and let's times that by 12. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. That is 1,008 hours more time than you throughout the year. Over 1,000 hours. Do you know what I would do to get 1,000 hours more in a year? What is that in terms of days? Divide that by 24. That is 42 days. Okay, put my phone back now. 42 days just because the highest version of yourself is waking up at 5 a.m. every day whilst you're living in your short-term gratification and waking up at 8 a.m. every day. That 3-hour gap seems like nothing at the beginning, but when you map that out over a year, the highest version of yourself is operating, being productive, learning, growing, making mistakes, failing, quick, moving, changing, evolving, elevating themselves. They're doing that for almost a month and a half. almost 45 days, a month and a half. They're doing that for that amount of time more than you every single year. So they're living 13 months in a year. They're living 8 days in a 7-day week. They're living 35, 36 days in a 30-day month. The highest version of yourself is absolutely whooping your butt. Think about that gap. That's an example of what I mean by the invisible gap between how you operate and how the highest version of yourself, the parallel self, is operating. And this is the difference between why that version has got their goals and why you are sitting here without yours. That's the gap that you could be exploiting and that you need to exploit. Okay? So now the real competition, it's not just that it's you versus you. Let's now talk about the real competition. Because that's just of, technically speaking, all I've just done is put forward a thought experiment for you to think about. That's technically all I've done. Let's bring that thought experiment into reality. Imagine that higher version of yourself, imagine you and I are at the same company. Imagine that, and this is not a thought experiment now, this is let's bring this into real life. So you and I are at the same company. And that highest version of yourself that wakes up 3 hours earlier than you, that's now me. I'm that bitch. I'm that guy. I'm the one who's waking up now at 3 hours earlier than you. We're at the same company, we're at the same level, and now we're going for the same promotion, we're going for the same job. It's you versus me. Because the fact of the matter is, you're in the position that you're in, you haven't got the goals that you wanted to get. Other people are getting the things that you're getting because they are, in retrospect, they are the highest version, they are higher versions of you. They're doing the things that you're not doing. They're acquiring time and lessons and skills that you're not acquiring because they're putting themselves in positions to whoop your butt. That's what's happening in real life. That promotion is mine all day long. You haven't got a chance in hell competing against me in that respect because you've not put yourself in that domain. You've not put yourself in that vibration. You've not put yourself in the position to have what you want to have, but your highest version of yourself has. And when you bring it into real life, Tom, Dick, or Harry, whoever the frick it is that you're competing against, those people have put themselves in that position. Why haven't you put yourself in that position? What's stopping you? Maybe you don't have your purpose. Maybe you don't have that fuel, that drive that you need. But we're going to, obviously, in my other videos, I've talked about all those other things which are setting your purpose and setting your direction. Actually, let me not drink that yet. Let me reserve that. So in my other video, actually, in fact, no. I can feel the cough coming. I need it. So in my other videos, I discuss how to generate unlimited motivation and unlimited fuel to have the energy to actually want to make changes like the ones we're talking about today. Okay? But you have not put yourself in that position. And there's a massive gap between you and your higher self and everyone that you're competing with for that thing that you want. Everyone that you're in a zero-sum game, yes, but everyone that you're in an infinite game, everyone that you're seeing has got what you want and you want that as well. There's no way you're getting it operating in the way that you're currently operating. This gap is too big. Okay. And back when I was talking about how people don't, back when I was talking about people don't ask themselves this question, what I mean is, as well, is that people don't see the gap. People don't ask themselves the question. And in psychology, they say, out of sight, out of mind. Right? What that means is, if you put something out of sight of the human experience, it's very easily forgotten about. If you bring something in sight, it's very easily acted upon. Out of sight, out of mind, in sight, in mind. You are not aware of the gap. The gap between you and your higher self is not in your sight. That's why you're acting oblivious of it. If I mapped out all the ways, apologies, if I mapped out all of the ways that the highest version of yourself is whipping your butt, we just went through sleep. We just went through that one topic of sleep and hours. But if I mapped out all the ways that you could be in the position that your highest version is, I guarantee you'd make changes starting from tomorrow. Because the gaps are freaking scary. Just the gap alone about sleeping is already fearful enough for me to get my ass up out of bed that little bit earlier. And it's not so much always about closing the gap completely. It's about taking incremental steps to becoming closer to the highest version of yourself. That's the purpose of life, by the way, if anyone's been wondering. The purpose of life is to become the highest version of yourself. And through that journey, you transcend to bring in people along with you. So my spirit, my soul's journey, I'm here doing this channel with you guys. We're building this together. I'm delivering value. I'm helping you guys wherever I can from my experiences. And when your soul and spirit gets to a certain level in its journey, it will begin trying and seeking to pull people with itself in this journey, right? And so it's a step-by-step process. It's not that you have to close the gap straight away. That's not going to happen. Apologies. That's not going to happen. But incremental steps to closing the gap, that can happen. And that's what we're going to get into now. Okay? So, step number 1, ladies and gentle people. Make the gap visible. Jesus, we're going to get into something deep today. Make the gap visible. What I done in my experiment just now with the sleeping and the hours and the 42 extra days per year and the extra day per week, all that stuff. What I just done, the reason why it was so shocking to you, all I done is I made it visible. Okay, so that's what you want to do. You want to make it visible. Once you make it visible, meaning you map out, oh, if I woke up earlier by this amount, what would that look like over a year? Boom, you made the gap visible from where you are to where you could be. If I done Duolingo, I love my Duolingo. I'm on like 800 and something stupid streak. I'm killing the game, right? In Spanish. So if I done Duolingo every day, where would I be in a year's, 2 years time, 3 years time in terms of my language, being able to speak Spanish? Boom, okay. If I done a workout every day, starting off, because I'm a little bit overweight. No, I'm very overweight. I'm struggling. Just 5 minutes a day to begin with, and I built it up slowly. If I did that, where would I be? What gap? Where would I be if I had been doing that for the past year? For example, you can also do it backwards, right? So if I did it for the past year, where would I be? Okay. And I want you to say things like, yeah, if I did it for a year, where would I be? If I ate more healthy, if I had 1 apple a day, where would I be? If I'm a salesperson and if I just made 5 more calls every day, how would that increase my rate of closing and the financial income that I have? If I read, oh my God, this one's a killer. If I just read for 10 minutes a day, something insightful and something about growth. If I read for 10 minutes a day, every day, if I'd done that for the past year, where would I have been by now? If I invested, oh, we're gonna touch some, we're gonna hurt some people. If I just invested £50 a month, where would I be right now financially? Better yet, if I paid myself, if I saved 10% of my earnings every single month, where would I be right now? I want you to think about those gaps, map out the gaps, all the things that are important to you, map out what you should be doing compared to what you're doing now. Get a pen and paper, map it out, and see where you could be. Step one, make the gap visual. In sight, in mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay? Then what I want you to do is I want you to sit in the pain. Again, just to be clear, I'm not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I like to give the truths based on my experiences. And if they work for you, incredible. If they don't work for you, incredible. Let me know in the comments and we can try and work out what can work for you. Or we can try and work out if the method that I'm putting forward isn't quite right. But it's all about growth. But I advise you very strongly to sit in the pain of where you could be compared to where you are now. People are motivated by pain way more than they are by joy. Full stop. This is psychology 101. You would know, like, research this, right? People are more motivated by pain and discomfort. People are only actually in behavioral psychology, people are only actually motivated by pain and the discomfort of something compared to something else. And so I want you to sit in that pain and look at the difference. Like, frick me. If I woke up 3 hours every day for the past 2-3 years, if I woke up 3 hours earlier, I would have had like a whole 100, 200 days more in my life to be effective and productive and to learn and to grow and to dominate and get the goals that I want and build the family that I want and all those things, give back to the, like, I've been sleeping away all that time. Why? Because the bed is warm. That sounds like, that's a painful life. All the things you could have done, but you chose to be in a warmer bed because the outside was a little bit cold or you didn't feel like getting up. So you missed out on all that? Mm-mm. You feel that, yeah? Sit in that pain, build out that narrative, think about those stories of where you could have been. Then I want you to think about now motivating yourself and saying, am I willing to lose even more time in this current state? Now that I can see all these gaps, Jesus, like, I feel like I'm an idiot. Like, I'm saying this and I'm like, you're going to be moving when you hear stuff like this value that we're dropping today. You're going to be moving. I'm sitting here like, of course, that's what, like, do you know what I mean? Like, map it all out, look at the gaps, make it visual, sit in the pain, understand what you've lost, then say, am I willing to lose more? The answer is going to be no. Answer is going to be no, 100%. Do you know what I mean? And so once the answer is no, step three. So step one is to actually map out all the gaps, make the gaps visual. Step two is to sit in the pain. Step three is very short, but it's to ask yourself, am I willing to stay in this mode of growth? Am I willing to sit in this rate of transformation? The answer will be no. Step four is then to set goals, habits, daily movements, set things that will move you, that will enable you to close the gap between where you are now and the highest version of yourself. That's what I done in 2024, 2025, and 2023, ready for 2024. That's what I done. Okay? That's what successful people do. They look at their gaps all day freaking long. All day they're looking at where they could be living in the future. A little bit in the present, but a lot in the future. And they're like, oh, where could I be? What could I have been doing? What could I have learned? And they take actionable steps to put themselves in that position. That's why they're continuously successful. Okay? Now, Jesus, the cough is getting better, I promise. I'm okay, people. I'm okay. So now, once you have these goals that you've set out, these habits, once you have these habits that you set out, these daily routines, these things to close the gap, make sure you're tracking it. Can't remember who said this, but that which isn't measured isn't improved. He was a business manager of some sort, I think. Can't remember who. Stephen Covey or Brian Tracy. I can't remember who said it. But that which isn't measured isn't improved. And therefore you need to measure and track. How are you doing? In week 1, you got the performance tracker with all the tick sheets and all the, the ticks that we're doing. I want you to think about, how are you tracking your progress? How are you tracking the closing of that gap? Measure what you're doing and it will improve. Okay? And that, my friends, is the answers to this very deep question of, how conscious are you of the gap between where you are now and the best version of yourself? How do you analyze that gap? How do you close that gap? How do you find the solutions for that gap? And I promise you, implement this ASAP, implement this today, start now, get the pen and paper out, start looking at all the gaps in your life. And I promise you, fast forward 12 months, you will be a completely different human being with a completely different life if you apply yourself. Okay? I will catch you in part 4, the blueprint. I don't know why I did that. Part 4, the blueprint. Today, we're going to get practical because yesterday, part 4 got cancelled, didn't it? You would know that if you watch my last video. Please go watch my last video. Please. I'm joking. Incredible. So, part 4, the blueprint. Today, we're going to be getting practical. I'm going to show you guys how to build out a time boxing spreadsheet so that you can then use that to build your calendar. Okay? Do not go into Google Calendar and start building out your calendar. You will be deleting boxes, time boxes, and reopening time boxes your entire life, okay? You want to start on something like Google Sheets, start on a spreadsheet, map it out, pen and paper, map it out first, get your calculations right, understand how you're distributing your time across your life. And once and only once, I've done this mistake in 2022, 2023, 2023. Yeah, I've done it in 2022 and 2023. I've done this mistake. In 2024 and 2025, I did not go into Google Calendar or any of my calendar apps until I had this mapped out first. You will save hours. You are welcome. Okay, so let's jump in. This is going to be very swift. Okay, but I'm going to guide you through every single thing. So don't worry. Okay, so it is bright. Jesus, let's jump into the screen share because this brightness is killing me right now. I think it's killing you as well a little bit. So first things first, what I want you to do, I'm going to guide you through every step, like I said, right? So first things first, what I want you to do is in Google Sheets, just come down here to the bottom and click Add Sheet. Okay? When you add a sheet, I want you to give that sheet a name. I've already got a name pasted here, so I'm going to call it Time Boxing Day 19 for this video. So what you're trying to do when you're time boxing is you're taking a 24-hour day and you're splitting it up across your values. Okay? That's how you live a value fulfilled life, by the way. Work out what your values are and only do that. That sounded condescending. I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is it's very simple, but society has made it very difficult for us. That's what I was trying to say. I apologize, a little bit ruthless. But but basically, what you want to do is you want to live out your values and to live a fulfilled life. You need to first understand what your values are. That comes from your purpose and how you want to live your life. Understand what your values are, and then live your life every day in those values. That's it. Okay, so let's jump in. Me personally, I like to use Poppins for everything that I do. I'm a Poppins guy in terms of font, right? So I'm going to make this nice and big for you guys so you can see everything for now, okay? So first things first, I want you to create a simple list called values or purpose, okay? Hopefully, can't type today. Hopefully, you have that already, all right? So we'll do an example of mine. So my purpose is, my why is to empower humanity to challenge the way things are. Or my why is to empower humanity. Let me give you the full version. With the ability to challenge the way things are for a better world that can be. That's my why. My why, my purpose on earth is to empower humanity with the ability to challenge the way things are for a better world that can be. That's what I do. I give people the tools to make a better world, as well as myself making a better world. Okay, that's what I do. Now, with your purpose in place, you need to understand what your values are. So, in order to achieve my values, I know that I need certain things. For example, I need 100%, I need health and fitness. Without that, I'm not going to get too far in my journey of doing this and empowering people. I need to be healthy and fit. I'm going to need to be intelligent. Okay. I'm going to need to have a good network of people around me who can help and support me doing this. Okay. So I'm going to need a good network. I'm going to need, I value my health and fitness. I value intelligence. I value my network and relationships. I value, I value creation. Okay. I need to be able to create things. I need to be able to create the tools. Like this YouTube channel is a tool that I've created with you guys to help other people and to help yourself, right? So I need to create tools. So work out what your values are. Time. Time is extremely valuable to me. Although I'm very bad at it, like you found out yesterday, it's very important to me that I don't waste my time doing things ever that I don't want to do. I want to do only the things that I want to do. And in the way that I want to value time, right? I value energy, vibration, right? I value that. And of course, I value personal growth. That's also very high up. Should be number one, number two. But obviously we're just ebbing and flowing right now. So I want you to build a list of your values. Okay. Once you build a list of your values, I then want you to look at how are you implementing, how are you living out those values right now? Okay. So what things are you doing right now? So right now, you could be doing things like, I don't know, well, let's do my example, continue my example. So right now you may have projects. Right now you may do gym. Right now you may have a diet plan. Okay. Right now you may do yoga and meditation. Okay. And what you can do is you can actually map it out if you want differently as well. So what you could do is you could actually just transpose that across. So what you could do is you could have it like this, and then you can say, so right now, how do you operate right now? And it's not important to do it like this. I'm just mucking around with the format and how you can do this because I'm a designer, so I like to make things look nice and look proper. So, gym and diet and plan, that can go here under health and fitness, right? Get that bigger for you guys, yeah. And then yoga and meditation, or yoga meditation could definitely go under vibration and energy, and so could yoga really, although it's health and fitness as well, right? The projects that I do could go under creation, of course, right? And then I value learning and I value reading, and these are the things that I'm doing right now. I learn and I'm reading, that comes under intelligence. Right now, I don't go to enough networking events, and I'm not very good at maintaining like relationships in terms of like checking in on people and stuff. I need to get better at that. Right now I've got a calendar, right? So I've got my calendar. So you can then begin looking at your life, look at all the things that you do. In fact, calendar is not a good example because you need to write down things that you're doing right now. So let me make that clear. Things I'm doing right now. Okay. So you start putting it in. I do learning, I do reading, I do gym, I do diet plan. What things do you do? Personal growth. I've got a morning routine. I do podcasts. Okay. So what things do you do right now? Then once you analyze and understand that, I want you to then look at what things do you want to be doing. So what things do you, or how, yeah, what things do you want to be doing? Okay, you want to map that out. Okay, what things do you want to be doing? Okay, so when you're looking at that now, okay, add a little line maybe, just like this. Okay, so when you're looking at that now, you may want to look at more things you want to do. So, for example, I want to go to more networking events. So you're going to be penciling in time for that. Yeah, networking events, or just, yeah, networking events is fine, right? And then maybe you want to um, contact family more. Yeah. So as you can see, I can't go through, like, I can't map out a full one for you now. This is my process though. So I want you to map out that and start thinking about that. Okay, those are examples. Health and fitness, you may want to do massages. Okay, massages, you want to just start putting those things in. Okay, personal growth. Maybe you want to go to more seminars in person where you can meet people as well. So start banging those in. Okay, once you understand what your purpose is, once you know what your values are, which is here, let's put a little line on that as well. So once you know what your values are, once you know what the things and how you, so once you know what your purpose is, once you know what your values are, once you see the things that you're doing right now to live in your values, and once you look at the things that you want to be doing to live more in your values, you then want to time box what that looks like on a daily and weekly basis. Okay, so we're running tight on time, so I'm going to build out Monday for you as an example. So what I want you to do is I want you to scroll down to here, which is fine, and I want you to put Monday. Okay. Now I don't normally like to have things right at the edge. So just gonna rectify that real quick. So let's start with Monday. Now, on Monday, we're gonna map this out in terms of understanding what you're gonna do on a daily basis, but we're just gonna map out Monday for now so you get the vibe. Okay. So let's look at one second, let me look at my other time boxing one real quick. Yeah, let me look at my other time boxing one real quick. So, oh frick, one second, done that wrong. Okay, so okay, brilliant. So, what you want to do is you want to look at Monday. Okay, so on Monday we'll bring this over here. So on Monday you want to look at how do you spend your time. So on Monday you may wake. So obviously you need to sleep, but we'll get to that like last. So on Monday you wake up and you may want to do your morning routine. Okay. After your morning routine, you may want to jump into, let's say, deep work. This is how I do mine as well. On Monday, it's basically the same, right? So your morning routine is done. You then want to jump into deep work. In your morning routine, you will have things. You can add things like breakfast, reading, yoga, meditation, whatever you want to add in your morning routine. But obviously, make sure you have breakfast, right? Or if you're fasting, do your thing. I fast sometimes as well. So you want to wake up in the morning, do your routine. Then you want to go into deep work. Then you may want to do an admin session, because an admin session is where you can reply to emails and messages. You don't want to be disrupted or distracted in your deep work session. So that's why you have an allocated time to check your messages. That's the power of time boxing. You allocate your time based on what you want to do, and you tell everyone, this is how I operate. You need to be ruthless. This is how I operate. If you want to spend time with me, if you want to whatever, like, this is my schedule. And be very strict with your time. Successful people are very strict with their time. Okay, I need to get better at being on time, but I am very strict. You don't find me doing things that's not on my calendar, or that I don't want to do. Okay, so protect your time and protect your energy. Have a time where 20 minutes you decide that you wanna do your admin. So what we can do now is we can begin adding some times with that as well. So really, I wake up at 4:30 a.m. as you know from this channel. So, but let's just put in for now. Let's just put in 6 a.m. Okay. So if we're waking up at 6 a.m., spin it all over real quick because we're running out of time. I want to keep this smooth. So if you wake up at 6 a.m., you then have a duration. So we'll enter a duration in here as well of let's say that takes us. Let's say that takes us. Yeah, let's say that morning routine um is a 2 hour routine. Okay, so it's 2 hours. So what you want to have is add another row in here, and we'll call this start, duration, and finish. Okay. So then you want to do a simple calculation where you go equals 6 a.m. plus the 2 hours will take you to 8 a.m. Okay. Then from 8 a.m., because you finish your morning routine at 8 a.m., that means your deep work will simply press equals and go over to this one. Just use the arrow keys to go across. Go over to this one and click enter, and that's now 8 a.m. Okay. So your deep work starts when your morning routine obviously finishes. So that takes 2 hours. You start your deep work. Then your deep work is, let's say, for 1 hour. Okay. So 1 hour will then take you to 9 a.m. See how we're starting to build out the day, right? On Google Sheets first, not in the calendar. We're going to take this formula and we're just going to go down the page a little bit. So just literally just select the last formula, which is simply here. As you can see, copy it and just bring that down the page and press Control V. Okay, so that's pasted that formula in. Now what you want to do is let's get the durations in as well. So let's take this duration, copy it, paste it here, and let's just say everything's 1 hour for now. That's fine. And we'll only do 10. Let's only do 10. We'll only do 10 for now. Or we'll do 5 because time is really, really short. So we'll do 5 for now. Let's delete those. Okay, cool. So, right. Now what you want to do is you want to keep going, right? So your morning routine, your deep work starts at 8, is for 1 hour, finishes at 9. Your admin, and on this side, sorry, you want to take the formula, which is equaling the finishing time. And you want to take the finishing time, you just bring that down and paste that in. So now all the formulas are locked in, okay? And when I give you this sheet, I may just build this out for you, but it's pointless because everyone's schedule is going to be a little bit different. That's why I'm doing like the full show and tell. So just copy this formula, go down and just paste it in like we did here, okay? So now you've got admin. Admin starts at 9 a.m. because deep work finished at 9 a.m. up here, okay? So now you want your admin to be, let's say 20 minutes. So take out the hour and put in 20 minutes. That takes you to 9:20. Notice how everything changed. Yeah, can you see that? Notice how everything down below changed. Okay. Then for after admin, you may want to go back into a deep work session. Okay. So in that deep work session, this could now be from 9:20. This could now be maybe 2-3 hours of deep work in the morning. So you may want to go for 3 hours. Let's say here, uninterrupted as much as possible. Yeah, that takes you to 12:20. Let's take it to lunch. Yeah, so let's do 3 hours and 40 minutes, takes you straight to lunch, 1 o'clock. Okay. And now 1 o'clock, you go do your lunch. And lunch is for 30 minutes. But I would, elite people, successful people, we have lunch and we continue working during lunch, but it depends on your goals, aspirations, and how far you need to go for what you want to build. Whether you just sit and have lunch and chat and chill, or whether you have lunch whilst you're eating, or you have lunch whilst you're working still, to save time and build that time. Remember that productivity. But it depends on your lifestyle and what you want to achieve. So that's okay. So let's put that at 30 minutes. Boom. See that? So now we've got the finish time, which we can leave, let's say, for example, in orange is when you're finishing. The duration is in blue, let's say, for example, just to help things out a little bit. And your start time, let's say, is in green. Okay. So now you can see that your morning routine starts at 6, lasts for 2 hours, finishes at 8. Your deep work starts at 8, lasts for 1 hour, finishes at 9, and so on and so forth. I want you to build this out throughout the whole of Monday. And eventually what you'll find is you'll see all the things that you do and do these things align with your values? Are these things adding and contributing and building and living by your values? Really think about that. If you find that you currently do some madness, like things that I do right now, let's say, for example, one of the things that you do is shisha. Like I know people that do shisha, for example. No offense to anyone who does shisha, but it's a good time for relationships and networking. I get that, but me personally, I don't want to spend my time doing shisha and sitting there playing PlayStation and doing shisha. That's not really my vibe. But if there's something that you're currently doing right now and that's under networking, shisha, and you don't want to do shisha anymore, you want to do like events with networking events at high level, locations and places. If that's what you want to be doing, shisha no longer will be in your calendar. That's the beauty of this exercise. You can actually spot the crap that you do, be conscious of it, and just remove it because it doesn't align with your values anymore. Do you see? So build this out, and this is how you build your day. Do this for every single day of the week, and then in our next session, I will show you how to create the actual day in Google Calendar. Okay? Absolutely phenomenal. And that, my friends, is how you wrap up. The time is 7:59, by the way. My alarm's gonna go off any second in terms of 8 o'clock. And I'm so proud of myself that I finished on time. Little bit rush. That's my alarm. Incredible. A little bit of a rush. But I think time-wise, we're getting better. What do you think? I think time-wise, we're getting a bit good. Do you know what I mean? So I'm very, very happy with that, guys. That wraps up part 4 of the blueprint. The time is 8 p.m. Bearing in mind yesterday, can I just put this real quick? Yesterday, it was 2:30 a.m. I was recording. Oh, the pain. Today, I'm finishing on the dot at 8 p.m., which I'm very proud of. But actually, I need to be finishing earlier. Actually, the truth is, I should be doing this like at 3:30 till 6, whatever my calendar says. That's when I should be doing this. But I'm still balancing everything in my calendar, and I haven't followed my calendar properly yet. So at the moment, my finish time is 8 p.m., which is really, really good. So I'm happy. You're happy. My name's Pierre Yamfam. This is Get Out of Your Way. We've done a lot of getting out of your way today and looking at yourself and trying to catch up to your best self. We've done a lot of getting out of your own way today, which I'm very, very happy about. And I think we figured this one out together, which I'm also very happy about. And I will catch you, beautiful people. I will catch you tomorrow for day 20. Look after yourself and look after each other. Peace.